Boom, boom. This is Kendra, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I got a little bit of Bleach Immortal Soul up today. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So we do have a new character introduced today. If you've watched the anime or if you're familiar with the Bleach manga, then you would know who Senbonzakura is. If you just played the game, you have absolutely no idea who Senbonzakura is because Bleach has the developers have completely ignored proceeding with the story. We're still stuck on the Rancor arc. Have not gotten past that. So, but Senbonzakura is the Zanpakuto of Byaki. I call him Byaki, but I call him Byaki because that's what he is. Most people, you don't use him much. He's one of the characters that will get you through the early part of the game, but when it finally comes down to towards end game and stuff, he starts to wear off. So this is his Zanpakuto. So if you're familiar with the anime or the manga, you know the Zanpakuto rebellion arc is when all of these Zanpakutos and stuff rebelled. Muramasa, which the character I think was not last character, but the character before that, Muramasa was the actual leader of the Zanpakuto rebellion. Yeah, so Senbonzakura is Byaki's Zanpakuto in realized form. So that's the character that is up. A good character. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the character. I just don't particularly like the way the fact that they're releasing all these characters and their story is it's like they've lost their way. Pretty much is what it amounts to. Focusing on stuff that really that should not be. You don't need to release all these Zanpakuto. You need to get on with the damn story, okay? We need, you should be releasing these characters when you get to the arc where all the Zanpakutos are at, or have that in the game, so that but they don't. So, they've completely lost their way. They forgot about the story, and they're focusing on stuff. It shows the monetization level that's gone, and it shows that that really the game's probably not going to last much longer. You can't continually progress. Your game cannot grow if you don't grow the game. They're not growing the game. They're not progressing with the story. We're not even halfway through the story yet. The events are exactly the same. They just reskin them. I mean, this format is for pretty much every single event. It takes maybe 10 or 15 hours of work to actually reskin the same format and just make it look a little bit different. So there's no change in there. The same events, Treasure Trial, yes, it's a nice event, and you get good rewards from it, but it's the exact, it's exactly the same. They haven't introduced anything new in terms of the story. And they're just focusing on releasing characters. They're not a gacha game, okay? They don't give you enough mats in this game to be a gacha game. A gacha game is when they give you multiple characters, okay? You level up those characters and you use those characters. If you don't like those characters, you can switch to other characters and use them, either with a regeneration fee or an altar where you can get all those mats back so you can try somebody else. There's nothing like that in this game. They don't give you enough mats unless you spend money to do it. So having a new character like this is completely useless. Okay, some of the new players, yeah, you might want to go for him. Okay, build him up. But yeah, for us people who've been playing the game for quite some time, it's nothing. So it's a new character, so we can use the actual tokens. So we'll just do the 6 or so summons that we can to actually get the character. I'm not going to utilize him in any way, shape, or form. He would not be beneficial to my team at this point. But if in the future something happens where the game becomes a little bit more flexible, they give you more mats, there's ways to level up characters fast and efficiently, and you want to make a different team, then I'll at least have him so that I can, in fact, do that. The reason I save up the tokens and don't do pulls off of events is specifically so that I can take part in these events. Now he'll come up with 30 at 6 pulls. That'll be 2 stars, so he's nowhere near being ready to be used. Once we've got him here, we'll go ahead and take a look at his skill set and whatnot. Okay, I think that's, let me see if I need to do one more pool. You get rewards. I think, no, I think I've got him. Because you get, I think, 6 on the first 3 here for the 5. Yes, 6, so you only have to do 5 pools. And then you can get the chest for the rest. So if you do want to go farther, of course, there is a super strength training event up. And this will allow you to actually get the character all the way up to getting him up to gives you all the mats that you need to actually level the character up to a certain level. I think it's 5 green. I think it's a certain level that they'll give you all the required mats to level him up to that level, based on how far and how many stars that you get. So let's go ahead and pull him up. So he's in the bag. And right there he is, 31 shards. So at 6 pulls, so that's 5 pulls actually. So 50 of your tokens. And you should be able to get him with 1 extra, of course, because there were 6 inside of the chest. So the 25 plus the 6 that you needed will give you the ones. So we do have him now. So in the super training, they'll give you the mats. So 2 stars. So they'll give you all of the mats that you need to take him to. I guess it's to red 5. Okay, and then as you keep going up, more stars, you'll be able to. They'll give you more mats, and you'll be able to get mats to take him up. So you know, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I'll level him up a little bit and utilize him to that point, but I he's not one that I'm planning on taking into my team. He is a good character, of course, if you do want to utilize him. If you are a new player, this is the way to go, simply because of the fact that you can get this character. If you spend a lot of your soul jade and a lot of your tokens, you can get him. You can get him up to 5 star. You can get his Zanpakuto, and you can get his all the mats needed to get him up to make him a useful part of your team. Okay, but you got to spend. It takes a lot to do that, because to get him up to 5, you're going to have to spend a lot of soul jade. I mean, a lot of soul jade. Unless you just have a whole bunch of tokens, which, if you're a new player, you're not going to have a whole bunch of summon tokens. And you're probably not going to have a bunch of soul jade either. But yeah, I think somebody was saying it was around 35,000 soul jade needed, plus the tokens to actually get him. And then the SS something like 35,000 is what it takes to actually get a character up to the 5 star level here, which is needed to actually get the Zanpakuto. So if you have 35,000 soul jade and a bunch of at least 60 or so of the tokens, then you'll be able to actually do it. Now, if you don't have the tokens, then you're going to have to. If you don't have any of these tokens, you're going to have to add another 5 or so pools to that. So you're looking at another you're probably looking at close to 50,000 soul jade to bring them up to get them up to 5 star to get this Zanpakuto and the super strength training. So if you're a newer player, and probably even if you're a mid-level player, you're probably not going to have that, especially since we're right smack dab in the middle of the anniversary. And some people have probably been spending some of their soul jade on this to try to get some of the stuff inside of here. I have not as of yet. My goal was to get 10 of the cherry cakes. I've got 8. So I'll probably end up having to do 1 pool maybe. I got another free pool coming up. When I get the last 2 free ones that they're offering, the hoops. Inside of the login rewards, they're going to give you 2 more right here. Okay, that will give me a total of 9. I have not done any pulls with Soul Jade yet. So 9 pulls is going to get me the 10 Omni Shards, which is the minimum. So if you just playing the game normally, they give you enough hoops to get the 10 Omni Shards, okay? And then, based on that, so I'll do the summons, I'll get the Omni Shards. If I still have not got the Cherry Cakes, I need 2 more. Probably, 9 pulls, I might get lucky, might not. I might just get 1 or something. And then I'll do another, I've got enough to do 12 tests. I've got enough to do 4 pulls if I want to. I'm not going for the character. I do have Rukia, as she's the free character. I got her a long time ago, but I'm not going to be utilizing her at this point. But, I do have her, okay? So that's where we're at. And I do have the border, as you can see here. This is the border for that. So the little red dot is just because I now have Muramasa, and I can utilize him for what I'm not going to. So, yeah, that's where it's at. So let's go ahead and take a look at Senbonzakura's skill set. Like I say, he is one of the Zanpakuto, so if you're completing a Zanpakuto team, there should be enough characters out there to do it. Alright, so we've got Cherry Blossom Slash. Basically, it deals damage to a single enemy. For the duration of this ability, Senbonzakura has 50% block pierce chance, and his attacks ignores 60% target def. This is Rage skill. Deals damage to an enemy column, so we've got a column attacker. A row is, of course, 3, whether it be front or back, 3. A column is 2, so he's only going to hit 2 people. 1 in the front, 1 in the back. Deals damage, the lower damage dealt, the greater the damage dealt. The target 1 HP target kills an enemy. Senbon gains 15 increased damage rate and increased damage reduction rate. Well, as a guard stance, the buff. So it looks like we've got, basically everything that's in a firm loyalty. And to each round for every hit point, unit has less than 40 hit points, gain 200 rage. So the lower the targets, the more rage he's going to gain. So basically, so we're looking at that. Crit chance increased by 8, damage increased by 5, block pierce chance increased by 10. So basically, he's a pretty good all-around character in terms of that. Now, he is an attacker, okay? So you can't expect that. Unfortunately, attackers that only hit a column are not all that useful on their rage. We want to preferably have a rage that goes after an entire rage to all enemies, simply because of the fact that they hit all enemies, and that's what you want. Hitting a column, Kitty hits a column, Kenpachi. So it's just 2. Does a lot of damage to those 2. So realize that the column that you hit, he's going to do a lot of damage. Might even take him out. If they've got a little bit of damage to him. But he's not a bad character if you're a new player, and you're looking for, to start your team and whatnot, then you might want to consider something for him. But, not for me as such. So, inside the bags now, so this is the bags that you get. You get all of the mats. This is to take him to red +5. Okay. And this is going to take a revenue pack. This is all the gold that you would need to do that. And then XP tonics to level him up. This is the actual thing to do that. Now, these are not specific to Senbonzakura. You can use these on any character. It's the standard mats. Okay. See, they're normal mats. They're not specific to Senbonzakura. This is just the mats that you would need to take him up to red 5. Now, what's interesting about this and what I like about this event is the fact that if you're not going to use Senbonzakura, but you have somebody in your team who you're considering using, whether it be that you've got the character up to 5 stars or something like that, and you want to start utilizing them, you can use these mats to do that. So you can bring up another character. You don't have to use them on Senbonzakura. So there is that, utility about it. I mean, I did it on Muramasa. I used them actually on Muramasa because I wanted to have a back row attacker, and in the story mode as it progresses, a lot of times you get stuck at story mode where the enemy is behind that you need to kill is in the back. So it's nice to have something that can just jump that front and go straight to the back. So I thought that would be useful to have. He's my next work. I'm still working on my final team member. Senbonzakura is actually a bond for him because they are focusing in all of the actual Zenpaku, since Muramasa was Zenpaku Rebellion. So he's got Baki and this one right here, a new character which has not been entered into yet. So I have to see what that comes. But so you can bring up another character. For instance, if I wanted to bring Yuraku up to Red 5, I could. The mats would work on him. They'll work on any of the characters. So it's pretty good. And as you go up, you get more mats. The mats begin to let's see if we can see here. The mats, and you get gold. So the mats that you needed are just in the first one. So and then right here, the mats go for. This is the one that they give you right here, 2-7. Yeah, it's gold for the rest of it. So red 5, it looks to be. There's revenue pack. This is tonics and whatnot. There it is. Prismatic green 6. So getting him to 3 stars would allow you to get mats to take a character to prismatic green 6, which is just below the max right now. The max is prismatic blue 2, which is what I have all of my main characters at. Prismatic blue 2. After prismatic blue is after prismatic green. So you go red plus 5. Okay. Then next you go to prismatic green. 6 levels of prismatic green. But then after prismatic green is prismatic 2. We are currently at prismatic blue 2. Can't go any higher than that. The mats will be in the next level story chapter, which has not been introduced for ages. Not even sure if they're ever going to. There doesn't seem to be any indication they're just going to keep giving out characters, doing nonsensical events in the process. But yeah, so if you take him to 3 stars, you get the stuff to take him to prismatic green 6. Okay, so that's what I did. I used it on Muramasa. I took him up to prismatic green 6. And then I went ahead and did him. I had the mats already ready for prismatic blue 2 because I've got a bunch of those mats because that's where I'm at right now. Just everything you're doing right now is giving you the mats for prismatic blue and prismatic green because all those are higher level mats. So I had the mats. It was not that big of a deal. But yeah, so that's where we're at. So yeah, so if you do want to do that, you might want to go ahead and go to. You might want to take him up to 3 just to get the mats. If you got enough of the tokens, you might want to take him to 3 for a couple of reasons. First one is the fact that he does have a talent. Talent is not active until he gets to 3rd star. So let's see what his talent is. His talent is, this is the 3rd star. Battle Arena and Kenpachi Contest. The attack and damage rate of all characters is increased by 1%. This unlocks at 3 stars. Now, understand that's going to take 39 more shards. 5 shards a pull. So that's going to take 8 pulls, or 40. So you're going to need 8 more pulls. So you're going to need about 80 of the tokens. But I think you might be able to get by with... you're going to get some of the actual tokens inside the actual chests. So you might be able to get by with a little bit less than that. We've got 2 tokens, and we've got 2 tokens right here. So and this resets over. So you're going to have to do quite a bit of pulls to get that. But you might want to go ahead and get him up to 3 stars. I'm going to debate that right now. I have almost enough. I might actually be able to do it with the tokens, and I don't use the tokens for anything else at this point. So I might just go ahead and do it. I can make 3 more pulls, which means I'm going to get 15 more. So I'm not going to have enough to do it because I've only got enough. Yeah, I'm probably not going to have enough. It'd be close, because I'm going to need to do set. Yeah, I'd have to do it. I have to weigh it out and do the math. But if you do, you might want to take him to 3 stars, just simply because at 3 stars you get the rest of the mats to go all the way to prismatic green. Max out a character, so you bet well almost max out a character just by taking him to 3. Even if you don't use it on him, you could use it on one of your other characters. So if you're a new player or mid-level player, you probably got a character on your that you're using right now that's probably not maxed out, not even close to maxed out. Mainly because you can't get the materials for them unless you're up to the story mode, unless you're all the way up into 20, 25, 26, 27 to get those mats. If you're a newer player, you probably don't have a character there, so you can't get those mats. But you can get those mats from this event. So this super strength training would be an ideal way to get the mats to do it. So you could use this for another character and get him all the way up to prismatic green. Even if you're not going to use a Senbonzakura, you could utilize that. And these tombs, you don't have to use them on him either. They're generic tombs, so the alacrity of wit and the martial physique tomb. Those are generic tombs. You can use those on any characters that use those two for their essence and for their tomb. This, of course, is specific to Senbon, but if you're going to go this far, you should definitely put the mats into Senbonzakura to get, because you got his Impactu and you can awaken his weapon now. So you definitely want to do that. Plus, they're giving you all the mats to do that right here. These are the mats for him, if you want to use them on him. And then, as you can see, if but 7 stars, of course, you're talking hundreds of dollars. Several 100,000 soul jade. But yeah, so it's just not something that's feasible. The game is not doing well based on the amount of people that are playing it, unfortunately. But so I would shoot for, if you've got the things, you probably want to go ahead and do 3 just to get the mats for another character. Okay, it'd be a chance to, especially if you're newer to the game. Getting one of your characters, put them on a UR character, of course. Don't stick it on an SR or an SSR character. You should have a UR character that you want to use. Stick those mats on him. That would greatly manage you to progress through the story, having one overpowered character, and you'd be able to do it because this gives you all the mats to do. Gives you the gold to do it. Gives you the XP potions to do it, and gives you the mats to do it. So everything is there that you need without having to worry about doing that stuff yourself. So you might want to go ahead and get it up to 3-star just to get those mats. In terms of using the character, he hits a column, guys. That's the only bad thing about it. But he would do a lot of damage. But there's a lot of other characters that are better. But if you're doing a Zanpakuto team or something like that, if you're trying to keep with the theme, then you might want to use that. We don't have a whole huge bunch of the Zanpakutos, but we do have enough to make a team. So let's see how many we have here. We have these 2 are Zanpakutos, ice type Zanpakutos. He is a Zanpakuto. Two more Zanpakutos. Zanpakutos, and the actual ringleader of the Zanpakuto rebellion right here. So yeah, you've got definitely enough, more than enough to actually make a team if you're looking to do that. So it's something that you might want to consider. So these are the celebrations. So we've got a couple. We've got overconfident, and we've got that. So we know that there's going to be a bunch more coming up. Which is unfortunate. They shouldn't be focusing on that right now. They should be focusing on the actual story mode so that we can progress through the story. So if you want to understand about these characters, they're in the Zanpakuto arc inside of Bleach. It was Zanpakuto. I think it was third or fourth arc in the series is when it happened. it was sort, it's difficult to distinguish because they have a lot of filler inside of there. It's so it's really hard to figure things out. But it was in there. But it's called the Senbonzakura Rebellion. Uh, and it was pretty good. It was interesting. It was nice to get to see all of these Impactus realized into sort of humanoid, so to speak, form. Um, and the resolution of it was pretty done pretty well. Done pretty well. Out of all the arcs that it didn't focus directly in the story much. It was sort of like filler itself. It was actually one of the better ones. I liked it. So yeah, so that's all I got. So just wanted to know, so Senbonzakura is up. If you're a Yaki fan, you might want to get it. Good character if you're a newer mid-level player. Try to get him up to 3 stars at least, so you can get the mats to take either Senbonzakura or another character to Prismatic Green 5. Especially if you're a newer player, those mats are not obtainable as of yet for you, but you can get them inside of the super strength training. You can't get those mats until you get into story mode. Prismatic green mats I think start at 24. I think 23 or 24, 24, 25, 26. 20, that's when you start getting the prismatic green mats. That opens up those elite stages, and what you have to do the elite stages as well. But if you can do those 20, you'll be able to do the elite stages. But you can't do those if you're a mid-level player. The dynamics of this game is completely whacked. Yeah, it's taken max level characters just to do the story right now, which is one of the reasons they might be stuck. They send out, if they continue on the path that they're going with the story, the next chapter, virtually only a handful of people will be able to beat it because of how difficult the chapters have been. So they might just be stuck and not sure what to do. I don't know. But yeah, that's a good way to get the mats. You could put that on your best Rior character, and he'd be super powerful. And it might help you progress through the story a little bit easier if you're having trouble. And would not be surprised if you are having trouble, because the story mode is pretty. It's not set right. Max level's 99. You need 99 and fairly maxed out characters just to do 20, just to do this story mode right here. And we're not even halfway through. If they continue at this pace, by the time they get to the end of the game, nobody would be able to do it. So, yeah, they need to start, all the story chapters from here on out need to be the same level as this. You can't make them any tougher or nobody will be able to complete them. It's just the way they've mismanaged the game. So, yeah, it's not doing too well. There's not a lot of people. I think one of the reasons is I'm hearing that there's only a handful of people working on it now. They've all been moved to other games, which might be the reason why we're just getting redid skins for all of the events and nothing new in terms of story mode, because that's where it takes a little bit of people to do a new story mode chapter. You have to actually physically write it, redo you have to do all the stuff. I mean, it takes a full team to do it, and if you don't got a full team, you can't do it. And if you're only having a handful of people do it, it could take 6-7 months just to do a story chapter. I would hope not. This game's not going to last longer than 3 or 4 years at the rate it's going. It just doesn't have the updates and telling us the story. A lot of people don't even play the game, only when there's an event. These guys are maxed out. I know several of the guys in my that don't. When an event comes along, they log on, do the event, and then they log back up simply because they're maxed. There's nothing else for them to do. I'm maxed too, but because I have not paid, because I didn't spend the hundreds and hundreds of dollars like they did, I still can work on maxing out my characters, my new min-maxing characters, so that so I have something that keeps me a little bit occupied, which is why I continue to play the game. But for those that spend a lot of money and got all that stuff, they're already maxed out. It just doesn't hold any. It doesn't hold anything for them. Whenever a new character or an event comes up, they'll log on, they'll do it, they'll beat it, get their rewards for it, and then you won't see them until the next event. So that's just the way it is. But yeah. So hopefully we'll get a new story sometime this summer. they'll start focusing on doing the game again. It's probably going to get a bunch of people when the Thousand Year Blood War starts off. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going on. But that's it. So that's all I got for you. So remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, you'll see the bell. Click on it. You'll get notified each time I drop a video. I do Bleach content. I do Azure Lane content. I do Soul Land Reloaded content. And I throw up a video about Mobile Legends Adventures every now and then. You should be playing that game. That's the best AFK free-to-play game out in the market. So, yeah, you want to hit those games if you can. All right, so thanks a lot for watching. This is Kenrier coming at you from the corner, signing out.